Real-kun for Root Gaming's YouTube. Um, I am casting these replays on the stream, but the VODs will be appearing later on the YouTube. So if you want to see some of the earlier games, you should go check out youtube.com/rootgaming. Go visit us at root-gaming.com as well. We are going to be on Steps of War with the TVT with Select as the blue Terran in the bottom left and Qxc as the red Terran in the top right corner. And you know, TVT on Steps of War is somewhat interesting because, you know, bioplay is becoming more popularized, and on a small map like this, a bio is definitely going to be very viable. It's a very aggressive build. Qxc is going to open up with a 9 Rex though. His Select is starting off pretty standard. Going to start off with the normal timing of his supply depot. Behind his minerals, players usually don't like to build at their ramp unless they're going to be aggressive at the start like Qxc is doing. There's no refinery, so it doesn't look like he's going to be starting off with a Reaper, at least not yet. Building that supply depot instead, as his SCV does move out to start scouting. So it looks like he just wants to get a quick orbital command up, which will help him out in the early game. It'll get him a nice spike in income. When it gets starting hitting the later mid-game, this 9 Rex does start to hurt your economy a decent amount, but in the early game, it's a definite boost to your income. It puts you ahead, so if you're going to be looking to do an early timing attack, the 9 Rex will be somewhat beneficial, but it's going to make it a little bit harder for you if it doesn't work. So it's definitely risk-reward situation for the player here in TVT. Would expect him to do something rather aggressive with it, possible 2-3 Rex bio build, but unsure as to what in particular. He does have that first mule out pretty quickly. It's going to go to start giving him that nice income before Select's orbital command can even finish. This mule is going to be ticking away on his time, almost to half done when Select does call down his. So that's a good amount of resources. Qxc actually managed to sneak a bunker at the top of the ramp of Select. I'm not entirely sure how he managed to do that. Look at that. Moving forward just to finish off that Marine so that it's 2 versus 1. Select is pulling workers here. He's going to build his own bunker. It's probably a good move there by him. Qxc is going to lose his SCV, so he won't be able to continue hopping bunkers forward. He's just going to have this bunker loaded up with Marines, being annoying. Looks like he's not going to try and pressure Select so that he can't finish this, which is going to make him have to pull some workers. He is going to kill that SCV on the bunker and take this advantage in Marine count to be able to put some pressure on him, though he has to get the hell out of there. Oh my god, loses 2 Marines at the same time. So now the Marine count's rather even. There is factory on the way for both players, so Qxc isn't going to be going bio off of this. Just putting some early pressure with this bunker at the top of his opponent's ramp, keeping him in his base while he techs up, I would guess, to Banshees on this map, because he's probably going to be doing something aggressive off of this 9 Rex play. You don't really go 9 Rex and then sit back for a macro game, so I really wouldn't be expecting him to do a 1-1-1 type of build here, but more likely a Banshee play. Select is looking like he's going to be working towards some tanks, which makes sense because he wants to get this bunker out of here. Just siege it up. Not have to deal with trying to out-micro it. But the starport is just about to finish, and we'll see what he's going to be doing with it when it does. Select has his own starport on the way, so their timings are going to wind up being about even. Qxc making a Viking, so it looks like he could possibly just be going 1-1-1, which is a little bit different off of that 9 Rex play. Hellion sneaking into the base around the bunker, killing the 1 low health Marine. Nice job there by Qxc. Having his health bars, that's the word, on, and being able to pick off that low health unit. Tank itself does outrange the bunker, so he's just going to move it over here, going to force Qxc to unload this and salvage it, hopefully. But this Hellion is still being annoying. Going to try and kill a worker. He actually does get 1, and there's the salvage on the bunker. Siege Tanks is going to chase this Hellion away. He's probably not going to get a second SCV kill. No, he does not. as Qxc pulls back his Marines and is working on a Raven. So he could be going Viking Raven with Banshees. No, that doesn't make sense because it's not Protoss. What the hell am I talking about? I'm not really sure what Qxc is doing at this point. Gonna try and secure an expansion, apparently, as he does have a decent amount of Marines. If he can get some siege tanks out, he should be able to defend his expansion. Just unsure as to what the Raven's really going to be doing, because he hasn't seen his opponent really making anything that the Raven benefits from, except for possible Vikings with the point defense drone. So both players just sort of sitting back, transitioning into different tech patterns. There's a second Raven coming for Qxc. Really? This is... or is that the first one? Yeah, he got supply cap. Never mind, that's the first one. It's like noon and I'm asleep. What the hell am I doing right now? Anyways, Qxc was moving forward, but he gets a scout with his Viking, and he decides he's going to back off, as he has less Vikings and less tanks, which does not usually wind up being a good thing. But he does pick off both the Vikings with his Marines, select with a little bit of poor positioning there. The Viking has finished for him. He's going to fly the starport off the tech lab and start building a reactor. So surprising that he's not building that barracks directly onto that tech lab, so you can go for the mid-game Marauder transition. If he is just looking ahead to the mid-game when Select will inevitably be switching to Marauders, point defense drone will be pretty useful. I'm just wondering about why it's out so early, unless he wants to get it up to 200 energy so he can drop 2. He is going up to 3 racks, probably going to drop a tech lab on both of them and start pumping Marauders. If you look at the economy, Qxc is starting to fall behind a little bit. Well, not really. He actually has more workers because Select apparently cut some while he was freaking out about that bunker at the top of his ramp. So normally Qxc should be behind in the economic game at this point, but he isn't. He does get this expansion up, so he is going to be pulling farther ahead in the economic game off of the 2 command centers. Select will scout this out, but it's going to be a little bit too late for him to capitalize on it. He does have this Raven out. He's going to start cranking Vikings from his reactor. Select is already doing this, so it's going to be tough for him to catch up in Viking count unless he adds a second starport, which we might see him do somewhat soon. Though he did add these extra barracks, so expecting him just to switch to Marauders instead. But Qxc's been rather unpredictable this game, so he could just do something different again. Select working on trying to get his command center out. Quite a bit behind Qxc's. A little bit of poor micro there with his Vikings, letting Qxc get extra shots on the beginning of the fight, which means that he's just going to lose them all. He GG's? What? Why did he GG? He didn't really lose any units besides the Vikings. And why does this replay go on for 4 more minutes? Qxc flying around, wondering the same thing that I am. Why did he GG? The only thing I can really think of is that he lost his Vikings, so he lost air dominance, so he didn't think he'd be able to hold off a push against Qxc, but, I mean, that's a really offensive GG right there. I'm not really sure what that's about. So Qxc is going to win, but it seems like he wasn't really out of that game at that point. I don't know. So I guess that's it for that game. A little bit of a weird ending. So you should go visit us at youtube.com/rootgaming and root-gaming.com. Let me cut the recording.